just punishment for Zack Snyder for making such bad movies as Rebel Moon would be for him to retire from making movies. Because really, in reality, it only makes those movies to coast in a fat pension, just like any other football player moving to Saudi Arabia. He is rumored to be contracted to make 4 or 5 bad movies in the Rebel Moon series, but we will go deeper into that a bit later, because first I will talk about these 2 only good movies, and a movie which is said to be one of his best, but then rather disappointed me with the ultimate cut, which then again supports the claim that you should retire from making movies and find something else to do. If we talk about his only 2 good movies, that will first be his director's cut of Justice League from 2021, which is also his most known movie, starring Ben Affleck in a great leading role as Batman. Not of course the only great quality of the movie, but it really does help it a lot. But anyways, it is here Zack Snyder really carved his reputation as a popular director, and it has been hailed as one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. The second one, which probably is my favorite from this director, and the one that shows class in the face of his other bad movies, is this one called 300 from 2006, where the voiceover are used in an effective way, where the tension really creeps up on you like a spider, and where also Gerard Butler probably does the role of his life as Leonidas. It should also be said that while the slow motion effects in Rebel Moon are off the charts compared to this movie, here it is very well utilized during the sword fights and used in a way that makes it intense and believable. Of course, the movie is also a bit supernatural, but Snyder makes it as enticed in that as well. It is really a war movie that grips you, that entertains you, and it is a far cry from how Zack Snyder has been making his 2 latest movies, which we will discuss in detail a bit later. On the complete opposite side of the scale, we got a movie called Watchmen, which people label as one of his best movies. But it was one that really disappointed me. Of course, as I saw the ultimate cut, I do not really know what is meant to be better. But as a director, Snyder often has his director's cut that he thinks is the best one. And that's also what I thought with this movie. But sadly, the movie is very dragged. There's only one good character, the one played by Jackie Earle Haley as Rorschach, and really none of the other characters connect with you in the right way. The movie is way more philosophical, the voiceover is a bit too much. It is cool when Rorschach does it, but not with the other characters, as there's way too much trying to fit into this movie, which seems more like a show than an actual movie. Also, the comic coming alive, the black freighter that suddenly takes away a lot of the movie, it really has nothing to do with the movie. When the boy reads a comic and the comic comes alive, that naturally is one of the features that makes this movie boring. Not to mention that the story is extremely emotional and will yet drenched in flashbacks and everything, which makes it a freaking mess rather than a good movie, supporting a claim once more that Zack Snyder really actually should retire. But now in this next step, we will solidify that claim in a higher regard. With his newest movies, the Rebel Moon movies, which has really quite deservedly been drenched into a negative spiral, which is really deserved, and it has been said to be his worst movies ever made, even going on a 6 out of 10 on IMDb, which says it all, really, because as much as I would like to defend low-rated movies, there's nothing to defend here. The CGI in both movies are horrendous, the story is conducted in a way that never connects with you, the characters are badly written, the action scenes are awful, and slow motion is just out of control. You remember I said how good it worked in 300, but by comparison here it is overused, and it makes the movie seem idiotic, which of course is all about Zack Snyder's big pension, which he does not really need. Also, the build-up never lures you in and makes you enjoy the story, when it all crumbles down to the battle as it does in both those movies, with an hour of build-up and then an hour of battle. The build-up, by the way, is also very boring, and no wonder Star Wars rejected this script, as really it is so bad. I would rather watch the one season of Obi-Wan Kenobi 3 more times, which is a show that also had its flaws and a weak female character, but not in comparison to the character Korra. What Sophia Botella does in this role is just try half-hearted to be a bit emotional, and what she really only manages to do is to not be anywhere near believable, anywhere near showing any emotion or good acting. She is just like the standard Peggy Sue character. That is just like a female warrior that only needs to look tough and be tough, where of course, for some reason she has superpowers right from the start in the battles. Okay, of course she is the daughter of some lord, and she has trained, but anyway, her story is perhaps the worst one, and it is perhaps one of the worst female characters that has been created. Even Rey Skywalker was not this bad, And that says it all, of course, as it is Zack Snyder's movie, and because she is a female actor, she gets away with this weak performance, where of course Zack deserved all the people giving negative reviews on it. Because in any case, he has written this character, and Sophia was much better in the movie called Hotel Artemis. As bad as the first movie was, the follow-up must be even more dreadful, as it, at least in the first movie, they tried to build up this universe. You have a decent fight by the ending, and the movie has some value, as I at least gave it a 5 out of 10, which I remember from last year. But the second one, let me tell you, you are never interested from the start. The villagers have decided to fight rather than giving away their harvest, and there's a long empty build-up where the characters tell what they are fighting for, which must be some of the worst scenes ever in a sci-fi movie, which it also takes a long time for the space Nazi guys to come down, which are the bad guys in this movie that come down and fight about an hour into this movie. I really don't know how it takes so long, because the second movie is supposed to be where it all happens, but the funny thing is that the second movie feels more like the build-up, and the first feels more like the second movie, which is hilarious in itself. With its messy structure, with how bad it is made, it is just another surefire bulletproof point that Zack Snyder should retire from making movies, after doing one of the worst follow-ups in sci-fi history, which I gotta admit also was one I gave a 3 out of 10, and it is almost as bad as Anyone But You, which says it all. Really, by retiring, Zack Snyder would do us a great service, because then we don't need to suffer through the mediocre shit he is creating now.